The process of putting all the research together already happened in phase one. So at the end of phase one, I mean at the start of phase one, we did a lot of research, we did a lot of discussions, and at the end of phase one, towards like a working draft, we actually put all the research together,
We sift through.
yeah, or we
we
sift
pick
through,
out
yeah, those that are crucial in our storytelling.
more relevant to us.
Yes.
What we want to talk about.
Correct.
And then we collate them sort of. But also then we turn it into a draft.
Yes.
A few actually.
I don't think we managed to use all of our research. Yeah, actually we didn't use most of our research, but those few that we think are relevant at a point of time, yeah, we turn them into stories, or we put them together into the first draft.
We went through a lot of thinking, brainstorming process and arguing out, things like we started from, we want to talk about the identity, the male identity in Singapore. So a lot of our research start to gear towards that direction.
Yeah.
And once we have most of that, then we discuss and then we think about, okay, so what about this? Why does it have to be the army? So after that, we shift our direction a bit, and then we go back to finding more materials of army life, in army recruits, other things. That's when we start to come about with SAF Confessions Facebook page, newspaper articles related to army, and that's when also the news about the swimming recruit, and then all these kind of things start coming in.
We went back a lot of times to the why. Yeah, why are we writing this? What is our dramatic question? Yeah, and I think at the end of phase one, this why hasn't. It's not very, how to say, it's not very articulated, or it's not very clear. We both have slightly different ideas on the why. Yeah, but then again, we just try we just put everything together.
And then after that, we ask again, we keep brainstorming, and then we say, so now that we have all this running away, and then does it mean that we are talking about not being able to escape or run away from a system that holds us in?
Yes.
And why do we want to run away from it? Because we need system to survive. And then we find that even after we churn out a draft about escaping, it doesn't really hit to the core of what we want to talk about. So it's draft after draft, and then brainstorming after brainstorming, until the limitation of having to have a feedback session by then. Okay, actually it's a good thing because it forces us also to come up with something to present, and also it forces us to, okay, that's the limitation, so now we really need to ask ourselves very deeply.
It's a physical framework. It's a physical framework.
Ironically, we need that to produce something. Then so that's why at the end, before the feedback, we geared towards the idea of just being conscripted, just being trapped in a situation that we cannot get out from. This two person may not be looking for escape, that kind of thing. They're talking more about the whole life, how army changes them, how the system changes them.
Which is actually at some point of time, I think a couple of months, one or 2 months back, we went to Pasir Ris.
Oh yeah, to watch the recruits book in.
Yeah. Then after that, we went to the White Sands to eat like late dinner . Then after that, we were talking about this why thing again. Then after that, we decided that time is to go back to the first impulse of what we want to do this, which is how army, that experience changed him, and how that experience changed us. Yeah.
So it's a long journey from it's actually almost the same as what we proposed to C42. So it's like going on the journey and then coming back again. But then it's also
it's necessary . .
after the Moss Burger, after the late dinner.
After, is it Moss Burger? Yeah, Moss Burger. And I ate nuggets with mustard. Yeah.
Then we
so
decided to
so after that, okay. So because by then one thing was quite certain by then is that we will be having two characters. Because actually in a very earlier draft, I wouldn't call it draft 1, maybe draft 0.
something.
0 point something, there were actually multiple characters. Yeah. Then, but after that,
We streamline.
we decided to streamline because you don't need. I think that we actually don't need so many characters talking about perspectives that might be similar. So after that, we streamlined into two characters, Yo and Xavier. Then after that, so after the nuggets with mustard sauce, we decided that he will write more on Yo's part because Yo is based on himself, his own experience also. Yeah, and Xavier, there are some of my experiences inside. So after that, we write. Then after that, we will see how we can put them together.
So it's two separate texts.
Yes, it started off as two separate texts, Xavier, Yo. No, actually, for me, in the end, I wrote two characters also. Xavier and the
Yo. Sergeant Yo.
Sergeant Yo. And then there's this guy who go to CISPEC, but he cannot get into CISPEC. I mean, he want to go OCS, but he cannot get into OCS, but he went to CISPEC. Remember?
Oh, the earlier draft.
The earlier draft. Okay, never mind. So in the end, we streamline it into two characters and we try to put them together in a way that makes sense. And actually, this process of putting back together, it is also very tricky because there are a lot of dramaturgical questions that you need to that we need to bang our head against the wall lah. Yeah, it's like because one thing is I think maybe when we first wrote our separate parts, I think one feedback from Alvin, our dramaturg, is that it is too monologue-y.
He asked, why do these two person need to say these things?
Yes.
Where are they?
Yes.
How come they need to say? Yeah. So it's really like two separate texts and then putting them together and then organizing them and then coming out with a framework to frame this two together. So it's sort of like interwoven and then one whole thing. So I came up with the concept of both of them in a dream that they cannot get out. And then
like the whole setting for why are they up there talking about this at the same time.
Yeah. The session was we agreed that it was quite good in the sense that this group of people, somehow during the feedback session, they sort of veer in a similar direction, and that helps us as well to sort of clarify what was lacked in this draft, what was lacked in our idea, what we can use in this draft, what we can use in our idea currently.
I really like the feedback session, like what he said just now. I mean the content aside, I just talk about the atmosphere first. I think maybe one thing we did right is that we invited people that we can trust. Like we trust their opinion. People that maybe we know that when they talk, they will, it's like we can take them seriously. And so I think I thought the atmosphere that night was very open. It was very constructive, and almost everyone spoke, and almost everyone gave us very good things to think about.
Yeah, I've been to feedback sessions where people come from different points of view, and then the playwright will have a very hard time to try to sift through, assess, and then 整理, all this kind of thing. So these people are very experienced. They are able to see the call very fast, and
because
so
they are all practitioners.
That's true.
They are all practitioners, so they can see it very fast. Like for instance, like Nelson said a lot of things, which is actually very I think is quite fundamental, but he's very fast, can pick that thing up.
Actually, I've been to feedback sessions where everybody is a theatre
And
practitioner.
still, like,
And still coming from multiple perspectives. Some may say you need to do a well-made play first, and that's your task as a playwright. And then another one come in and talk about the character, and then another one come in and talk about how you're going to direct her. So that kind of thing. So I think this group is
Yes,
tightly
it's
controlled in the sense because there's only just less than 10 of them.
I wouldn't say tightly controlled, but maybe this group of people is more open. I think maybe.
No, everybody is open. But so open, then everybody coming
But the
from
thing is,
different directions.
if they say things that I think that you need to do a well-made play structure, that means that they are actually they are not so open. What?
No, very open one. They are giving honest advice.
Okay. Okay, maybe.
Seeing us as a new, that kind of thing. But it didn't happen in our feedback session.
But I also have. I think the thing about feedback session is they really listen and see what we have, and they tell us what they see, and they tell us the problems they see also.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
rather than 其实你们要重写整个东西 is how to say very yeah lah, I have also been to feedback sessions that the people just is very 不负责任的给 feedback. Because but the thing, I think the feedback session that I went got members of the public also. So
it's really open to public.
so it's like when they give feedback, it's like, I think you should you should. Then you right lah. So it's like it's but you get what I mean. It's because feedback, like Xiaoyi said, is sometimes feedback people give feedback, but it's you no need to take responsibility for the feedback under some circumstances. Yeah. So.
The nature if you open out to public, then you have to
Yeah, but
be
yeah,
prepared
yeah.
for this.
But the thing is, I mean, more than the content of our feedback session, which was very good, gave us a lot of things to think about. That night after
session.
I went back. I actually cannot sleep because I felt very heartened. Yeah, it's actually because it's our first time doing this kind of thing. Then after that, people turn up and people really want to help you. People really to the best of their ability try to help you. It's like then next day Hai Ping make some emo post about the
No, not emo. Definitely not.
or what 敢看 or what.
Never. No feeling. It's all here one.
Okay. That feedback session, I mean, 我讲我的先啊，就是 from what I hear, a couple of major things that people say. One thing is, if we were to go this route, there needs to be the relationship is is very important. The relationship between these two characters, which was unclear or which was not solved in the first draft. Second thing is maybe the structure or the way that we drive the narrative so that the narrative bring out the why is also maybe not very clear at that point of time. I think these two are my the most obvious takeaways for me.
Okay. Because we wanted to talk about how this thing changes these two characters. And so one very important feedback that I take away is how does it show in the story. So there were suggestions like if it is more apparent or it's more to the core. It could be better. And of course the general narrative dramaturgically, like we build up from the start and then there was a development and people were waiting to see what will happen in the end, but the ending wasn't too
The payoff.
too clear. So that is in terms of structure and playwriting skills as well. Yeah. So two things as well for me.
Yeah. The first session after the feedback, we got Xiaoyi in to give us talk discuss and talk about things. Then we had a session on our own a couple of days ago. So I think we are now experimenting with with another structure or relationship. Yeah. So
Because we talked to Xiao Yi and then he asked like more deeply, what exactly do you want to talk about?
Yes.
He listened to our stories. So this time around we throw the script aside and we just tell him the story like verbally. And then he listened and then he says, so does it mean you're talking about this? And then we say, not exactly. Then we carry on with the story and then he say, so does it mean you're talking about this? And we say, yeah, closer.
Yeah, close,
so he's
close,
helping
yeah.
us to articulate and also find out the roots and the core. And then in the end, we have like two kind of structures for these two characters. And then he suggested that the work we can do after that is to try to write out the story based on these structures. It didn't deviate too much from the earlier draft, but it sort of is clearer.
yeah,
in a sense.
it's clearer.
Yeah.
And I think he gave us a more technical look at the kind of, like the elements of the thing. Yeah. So,
say that, yeah.
so actually, the core of it, I think the core of it right now has a lot to do with the system and power. Yeah.
Cycle 啊，我们讲
Cy-
人压人
对
压
and 人压人 duck man. No, it's like
哦哟 duck man.
the cycle of oppression. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cycle of oppression. Right now, our priority is, I think we want to take the next couple of sessions to finish up the script. Okay. Or maybe not finish up, maybe doesn't mean final draft, but at least a draft that we can start to workshop with. Okay. Then after that, we will start to look at the form of the presentation. The form, like for instance, like finding a vocabulary, finding a main vocabulary. Basically, it's how do we, from now we have this, we go to the next phase, which does not dispel the possibility that we will deconstruct the script again.
Yeah, it's still quite open at this phase.
Yeah. So maybe script is script. Then after that, maybe as actors we deconstruct it and we stage it. Then maybe next time, 10 years later, if let's say another two person come along, this script they stage it their own way, So it's quite interesting because this process we go through different roles, playwright, after that as actor, as director, how do we approach what we have written. I think sometimes like we I don't know, maybe we are more sensual or what, I don't know. It's like, when you want to create, you follow some sort of impulse, but I realize that you actually need to dig a lot deeper, or you actually need to think a lot more, talk about it a lot more, or even you need to show other people to be able to articulate what is the impulse. Yeah. And that impulse is the why, which is actually, this why has been we have been looking for it. Yeah, so no, it is not to say that we don't have a
Good reason.
good reason to do this. We have, but the thing is buried. Is buried, and it manifested in the first impulse that we want to do this, and I think that it shows through the content that we write. But it's just that this articulating it is very, very tricky. But I think 2 sessions ago we had another revelation. Yeah.
It's I think it's a paradox. After we talked to Xiao Yi,
Yeah.
then we
Xiao
realized
Yi,
like we realized like as when we are creating something, then it has to come from something that, like what you said, is an impulse. It's something deep, emotion, feeling. But then in the process of the creation, you have to be here as well in the head.
Yeah.
And then it sort of like you have to bounce
Or,
between
or
the heart
rather,
and the head.
or,
heart
or
and
rather,
the head.
there comes a stage where it has to be here.
No. I think it's like
The thing is like that. Okay. For me, it's like that. Then after that, like that. Then after that, like that, then like that. I don't
yeah
know.
lah, the same lah, loop lah.
Yeah, loop lah. Yeah lah.